The night air in Philadelphia, the 18th of March 1982, hung thick with the scent of impending tragedy. A sleek, silver Rolls-Royce, a symbol of unchecked ambition and roaring success, veered wildly. Brakes, some would later whisper, were deliberately severed. It slammed into a guardrail, then two unforgiving trees, crumpling metal around flesh. Inside, pinned and broken, was Theodore Teddy Pendergrass, Teddy P. The voice that once commanded stadiums, that coaxed women into frenzies, was now a silent scream. His body, once a vibrant vessel of raw sensuality, lay shattered, his spine severed, his future irrevocably altered. This wasn't just an accident. It was a brutal, public crucifixion. Just moments before, he was leaving a club, the king of his domain, with a transgender performer named Tamika Watson beside him, adding another layer of scandal to the night. The whispers started immediately dissecting his sexuality, his choices, his downfall. But before the tabloids could print their venom, the grim truth set in. Teddy Pendergrass, the Black Elvis, the man who sold out women-only concerts and dominated the R&B charts with 5 consecutive platinum albums, was paralyzed from the chest down. The contrast was stark, almost cruel. Only years prior, he was a titan, a force of nature, bathed in the spotlight, his baritone voice, a velvet hammer, his presence electrifying. He had a 34-room mansion, Learjets, luxury cars, endorsement deals, and a loyal legion of fans. He was untouchable, or so it seemed. But beneath the glittering surface, a darker narrative had been festering for years. A cocktail of jealousy, threats, paranoia, and the corrosive isolation that comes with godlike fame. This wasn't merely a tale of an artist falling victim to a moment's recklessness. It was the culmination of a life lived on the razor's edge, a chilling testament to the unforgiving price of immortality. Philadelphia, the 26th of March, 1950, Teddy Pendergrass entered a world already scarred. His mother, Ida, had endured 6 miscarriages, making Teddy her special 7th child, a god number. Yet his father, Jesse Pendergrass, was an absentee ghost, leaving before Teddy was born, only to reappear in his son's life twice before meeting a violent end, stabbed by a friend when Teddy was just 12. This early void, this fundamental abandonment, would fester, fueling a hunger that music would both feed and betray. Ida, a devout woman, immersed young Teddy in the church. At 2, he stood on a chair, singing his first public song. By 10, he was an ordained minister. But the sacred hymns couldn't fully drown out the street-level cacophony of North Philly. He found solace and expression in singing and choirs, at school dances, on street corners, and in the raw, visceral power of R&B. He idolized Jackie Wilson, captivated by the electric frenzy Wilson inspired in women, a blueprint for his own future stage persona. But the streets held their own allure and dangers. Teenage Teddy Pendergrass flirted with gangs, a transient brush with juvenile detention after a wrongful robbery arrest. This wasn't a hero's journey of overcoming adversity. It was a gritty tale of survival, of a young man navigating the perilous tightropes between salvation and damnation, between the church and the concrete jungle. His mother, working in a restaurant frequented by stars, offered a different escape. It was there he discovered drums, not with sticks, but with his bare fingers, playing by ear. A raw, innate talent, needing no formal instruction. His first solo attempt, Angel with Muddy Feet, went nowhere, a stark reminder of the harsh realities of the music industry. He dropped out of high school, a casualty of a system that couldn't contain his restless spirit. He became a drummer, first for Little Royal, then for the Cadillacs, always seeking an outlet for the powerful rhythm pulsing within him. It was a grind, playing hotel lounges and clubs for meager pay, but it honed his craft. Harold Melvin, a veteran of doo-wop, saw something in Teddy, not just a drummer, but a latent vocal powerhouse. When other members were late, Teddy would step up, singing while keeping time. His voice a revelation, Melvin, ever the opportunist, made him the lead singer of his new group, Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. The hunger was now unleashed, transforming into a roar. The transformation was immediate, undeniable. With Teddy Pendergrass at the helm, the Blue Notes found their identity. His voice, a smooth yet commanding baritone, captured the attention of Gamble and Huff, the architects of Philadelphia International Records. They saw the star power, the undeniable charisma. But Harold Melvin, clinging to his past glory, asserted control, naming the group Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, ensuring the money flowed through him, masking Teddy's burgeoning stardom. It was the first bitter taste of the industry's dark underbelly, a foreshadowing of the price he would pay. Their early hits, I Miss You and the iconic If You Don't Know Me By Now, catapulted them to the top of the R&B charts, selling millions. Love TKO, Wake Up Everybody, Hope That We Can Be Together Soon. They solidified their status. But as their success soared, so did the tension. Fans, particularly women, clamored for Teddy, often mistaking him for Harold Melvin. Teddy grew weary of the financial control and Harold's escalating jealousy. He wanted his name on the marquee, his talent recognized for its own merit. The break was inevitable, explosive. Teddy, with the support of his new manager and girlfriend, Tess Lane, left to pursue a solo career, taking most of the band with him. Harold Melvin, enraged, reportedly issued threats that echoed through the Philly streets. Teddy Pendergrass, the solo artist, was a phenomenon. His self-titled debut album went platinum, followed by Life Is a Song Worth Singing. His, which made him an undisputed sex symbol. Close the Door became a 2-week R&B chart topper. He was the Black Elvis, selling out tours worldwide, including legendary women-only concerts where audiences were showered with chocolates and lollipops, and women threw their underwear on stage. He won an American Music Award, bought a 34-room mansion, a Learjet, and luxury cars. He had endorsement deals, even his own Teddy jeans. But with this meteoric rise came a suffocating shadow. The devil had made his deal. Police, fueled by resentment or perhaps directed by unseen forces, harassed him, constantly trying to find a reason for arrest. Mobsters tried to extort him. There were whispers of cut brake lines on his cars, near misses that felt too deliberate to be accidental. Rivalries flared. Marvin Gaye accused Teddy of stealing his style and even having an affair with his wife, Jan Gay, a claim corroborated by Rick James, who warned Teddy about his dangerous liaisons. He clashed with the Isley Brothers and Bobby Womack. Everyone, it seemed, wanted a piece of Teddy Pendergrass, his money, his fame, his mystique. The unsolved murder of his manager, Tess Lane, shot to death just months before his debut album, cast a chilling pall over his success. Though Teddy denied involvement, the rumors persisted, a dark stain on his glittering ascent. He was at the pinnacle, but the ground beneath him was crumbling. The golden facade of Teddy Pendergrass, the Black Elvis, was cracking under the immense pressure of his own making and the malevolent forces that circled him. The warnings from Rick James about his dangerous lifestyle and his dalliances with married women went unheeded. His personal life became a chaotic reflection of the industry's cutthroat nature. The lavish mansion, the symbols of his power, became a gilded cage, a fortress against a world that simultaneously adored and envied him. The people who genuinely cared, the voices of reason, were slowly pushed away, replaced by sycophants and opportunists who only amplified his hubris and isolation. The threats, once whispers, grew louder, more tangible. The police surveillance wasn't just harassment, it was a constant reminder of the target on his back. The chilling stories of cut brake lines on his luxury cars weren't just rumors, they were terrifying omens of an invisible war being waged against him. Every triumph was met with a new challenge, every success shadowed by a deeper paranoia. The unsolved murder of Tess Lane, his manager and former girlfriend, lingered like a phantom limb, a stark reminder of the violence lurking beneath the surface of his glamorous life. It was a tragedy that was never truly solved, adding a layer of dark mystery to his already complex narrative, feeding the public's fascination and suspicion. His image, once untarnished, began to fray. The relentless demands of touring, recording, and maintaining his larger-than-life persona took their toll. The lavish parties, the constant attention, the sheer hedonism became a coping mechanism for the gnawing emptiness and the ever-present danger. He was losing control, not just of his narrative, but of his own life. The very charisma that had propelled him to superstardom now felt like a magnetic force, attracting both adoration and destruction. The climax of this tragic arc arrived on the 18th of March, 1982. It wasn't just a car accident. It was an intersection of his reckless choices, the pervasive threats, and the cruel hand of fate. He was leaving a club, driving his Rolls-Royce at high speed with Tamika Watson, a transgender nightclub performer and prostitute, by his side. The car, a symbol of his excess, veered, the brakes failing, and crashed violently. It was a catastrophic impact, pinning both occupants for nearly an hour before help arrived. Tamika, astonishingly, suffered only minor injuries. But Teddy, the man whose voice was his power, whose body was his instrument, was hurled into the back seat, his spinal cord severed. The world watched, horrified, as images of the mangled Rolls-Royce flashed across screens. The Black Elvis, the man who made women swoon, was now a quadriplegic, paralyzed from the chest down. The accident wasn't just a physical catastrophe, it was a public unraveling, igniting a firestorm of speculation about his sexuality, his lifestyle, and the dark secrets he might have been hiding. His fall from grace was not just a tumble, it was a plummet from the highest peak of stardom into the abyss of physical and emotional devastation. The price of immortality had been paid, and it was excruciating. The aftermath of the crash was a descent into a personal hell, 6 agonizing months in the hospital, grappling with a diagnosis that gave him only 7 years to live. Returning home, the once vibrant Titan was confined to a wheelchair, his body a prisoner. The depression was profound, the insomnia relentless. He contemplated suicide, asking his girlfriend, Karen, a former dancer, to help him end his life with an overdose of sleeping pills. But Karen, steadfast in her love, refused. It was her unwavering support, coupled with the encouragement of family and loyal fans, that slowly pulled him back from the brink. She reminded him that his voice, though muted, was not silenced, and his spirit, though broken, was not extinguished. Years later, in 1987, they would marry, a testament to her enduring devotion. His journey back to the microphone was arduous, a testament to sheer will. Record labels were hesitant, seeing his injury as a career-ending obstacle, but Asylum Records took a chance. In 1984, he released Love Language, an album that proved his voice, though softer, still held its soulful power. The album featured a then-unknown 1-year-old Whitney Houston on Hold Me, her first chart hit, ironically costing her a Best New Artist Grammy due to the technicality of having a featured credit. Then came Live Aid, the 13th of July, 1985, in his hometown of Philadelphia. Before a crowd of nearly 100,000 and billions more worldwide, Teddy Pendergrass made a surprise appearance, his first public showing since the accident. Seated, his voice soaring, he performed Reach Out and Touch Somebody's Hand with Ashford and Simpson, a moment of profound resilience that brought tears to millions. It was a comeback, not to his former swagger, but to a powerful, defiant grace. Yet, tragedy seemed to stalk him. In 1986, a second car accident, this time in a specially equipped van, left him critically injured with a 4-inch gash to his liver. He survived, again, a testament to his indomitable spirit. In 1988, he released Joy, his highest charting album since the 70 Seconds, with the title track hitting #1 on the R&B charts. He continued to record through the 90 Seconds, his music now imbued with a different kind of depth, a survivor's wisdom. In 1998, he founded the Teddy Pendergrass Alliance, a nonprofit dedicated to aiding others with spinal cord injuries, turning his own suffering into a source of hope. That same year, he published his autobiography, Truly Blessed. His personal life remained complex. He divorced Karen in 2002 and married Joan Williams in 2008. But in 2009, colon cancer struck. He underwent surgery, but his recovery was difficult. On the 13th of January 2010, at the age of 59, Teddy Pendergrass died of respiratory failure. Even in death, his struggle continued as his wife Joan and his children embarked on a bitter public legal battle over his estate, a final painful echo of the price he paid for a life lived larger than life itself. Teddy Pendergrass left behind a legacy as complex and enduring as his music. He was the voice of desire, the Black Elvis who redefined male sensuality in R&B. His velvety baritone, commanding stage presence, and string of platinum albums cemented his place in the pantheon of soul music legends. He broke barriers, transcended genres, and inspired generations of artists. His resilience in the face of paralysis, his powerful comeback at Live Aid, and his dedication to helping others with spinal cord injuries showcase an indomitable spirit that refused to be silenced. Yet, his story is also a stark, melancholic reminder of the crushing weight of fame, the early abandonment, the constant threats, the unsolved murder of his manager, the devastating accident, and even the posthumous family disputes over his estate, all paint a picture of a man constantly battling forces, both external and internal, that sought to diminish him. He found immortality through his art, but it came at an exorbitant personal cost, a life plagued by hardship, loneliness, and a relentless struggle for peace. Teddy Pendergrass's tragic arc serves as a profound human lesson. True happiness and lasting peace are rarely found beneath the blinding glare of the spotlight. His voice lives on, a timeless echo of passion and pain. But his life's journey reminds us that the greatest riches are often the ones that fame cannot buy, and the deepest scars are sometimes etched by the very pursuit of greatness.